Okay, you guys, welcome. Thank you guys so much for being on time this morning again. We'll go ahead and get started here so we can get through this as quickly as possible and you guys can get as much information as possible as well. So today we're going to discuss all of the most common misconceptions of Planet Beach prospecting, as we've noticed this just across the board among our department, and noticing this in speaking with a lot of you. Many of you experience frustrations when it comes to having to prospect and market and understanding it fully, what it is, how to do it properly. Because yes, there is a way to do it and there is ways not to do it. And it's across the board that many of us choose to think that we need to be a certain way, act a certain way, do certain things because we seem and we think just in our previous employment, in our previous businesses and in other businesses that we own, that's effective. And in actuality, Planet Beach is a completely different baby altogether. And so what we're going to learn here today is we're going to go through a couple of different things actually. We're going to cover the basic fundamentals here, the four quadrants of Planet Beach marketing. We're going to touch into that. We're not going to make it a training about that in case you've already attended that training. But this is more so for if you did or did not, you'll still get the gist of it, what it is. That way you understand fully for you to take back to your team, to take back to each other, train it with each other, and understand that to be what your process is in your stores when you know what the different external and internal quadrants are. So we're going to cover that a little bit. We're also going to go through the actual meat and potatoes of this training, which is the top 10 misconceptions, which are the most common. And we're going to talk about the approach in each and every one of those, because approach is everything. And many of you have probably heard me say this a million times before. You've heard us talk about it in previous webinars. It's not what you're doing or saying, it's how you're saying it or doing it. And then the missed opportunities around every corner. We're going to discuss that as well in each one of those. So you probably saw my chat, your little control panel that's off to the right-hand side of your screen that contains where you can ask a question, raise your hand, so on and so forth. There should be a little box in there labeled handouts. So anywhere you see handouts, you'll see that there is a document, in fact, that is related to this topic or what I'm referencing right now for you to be able to download and save to your computer and to print out later should you decide to do so. But it's just there for your reference so that you have it and you're not, searching Orion later. I don't want to do that to you. I know how much of a headache that can be for some of you. So the four quadrants of PB marketing, we're just going to go through it, touch into it just a little bit. Quadrant one is community outreach. Marketing and prospecting. Now, if you've taken any specific webinars to red appointment booking related anything with me before, you know that that's two separate things. And as you see here, marketing, that's all not controlling the outcome. You're making the brand out there, you're putting the name out there, you're basically going out handing out guest passes, any type of gift certificates, vouchers, flyers, brochures, whatever it is that you have that's printed, you're going out there and you're giving it out, but you have no possible way to control the outcome of that. Will people come in with it? Will they show up? I have no control over it. I don't know. I just gotta stand by the door and say a little prayer, right? So that is marketing. And then the other part of quadrant one for community outreach is prospecting. That is where we actually control the outcome. This right here is what's going to determine if you have red appointments that show up or not, or even if you get red appointments. So that's the first quadrant of Planet Beach marketing. And this is a really good protocol or process, I guess I should say, if you're a spa director or you're a franchisee and you're training a staff on understanding all the different areas of being able to prospect and market for Planet Beach. Following this little process was always a helpful go-to for me to make sure I covered all my bases, crossed all my T's, dotted all my I's whenever I would train any of my staff members. So this was helpful. Hopefully you'll find it to be the same. Quadrant two is more external when it comes to marketing and prospecting. VIP business partnerships and corporate accounts, or B2Bs like we like to explain in corporate accounts. Those are two separate things, and I'll take a second to clarify this because I have a lot of misunderstanding when I talk to some locations that will say, yeah, they set up corporate accounts. When they explain it to me, it's actually technically a B2B. So what are the two main differences between the two in quadrant two outside marketing? Well, VIP business partnerships or B2Bs are more so when you go out to another business with the end goal being that I want to get access to your customers, your clientele, your own members. Who is it that's buying from you? I want access to that. Corporate accounts, on the other hand, corporate accounts are more so setting up an account with an employer to gain access to their employees. Basically, in other words, going to that decision maker and saying, "Hey, listen, I want to set up a corporate account with you. You'll have, better, more stress-free employees, mean more productive employees for you. You go through the list of all the benefits of why that employer should get a corporate account set up with you, as basically creating it as part of their benefits package, and that employer cuts you a check every month for their employees. Now, those are two separate things. However, they do not have to be one or the other. You can have both in one business and have a corporate account set up and still be B2B partners with them, and vice versa, to be able to go in and host promotions there, and we're going to go into that in detail in just a little bit, but just wanted to clarify those two things are completely different, and that's part of quadrant 2. And then the other part of quadrant 2 is outside promotions. Outside promotions are rarely happening, mainly because of the misconception behind them and where to go, where to set them up, how to host them. We're going to clarify that in a little bit as well, but that is the second part of quadrant 2. Quadrant 3 are internal marketing inside your four walls, things that you do that you don't necessarily have to even leave the spa to do. And just one of two parts here is the member referrals and ambassador program, and the second half is member appreciation parties. There are a million other ways that you can internally market, but again, we're going to go through that in just a second, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. This is strictly to just go through this with you just one good time before we get started. Then lastly, the fourth quadrant, anything that you've paid for or your franchisee has paid for. In other words, daily deals. Is there a Groupon running? Is there a Living Social, Valpak, Smart Circle? Many of you use very different vendors. You guys use, they all basically do the same thing for you, but it's a way to get the Planet Beach name out there. You're offering discounted or free services with this company that will probably take a cut out of it. You get instant cash in the bank. However, you are realistically supposed to turn those into members by buying them back. Radio, TV, billboards, all those other things. If you're paying for a radio advertisement or, a TV commercial, you run one of those, you get a billboard, signage, anything like that that's paid for. That's the fourth quadrant there of Planet Beach marketing. Now, I'm going to take a second here because I ran out of numbers. This is the top 10 most common misconceptions. I couldn't fit this, and it would have bothered me. My OCD would have just kicked in. I couldn't put an 11 on there because it was already titled. You guys already hopped on. It would have just bothered me specifically, most likely. But I want to take a second to talk about, on this quadrant 4, the daily deals. The number one most common misconception among those, and I hope that you have a pen and paper writing this down or doing some type of note taking, because it's super important that you know this for sure. The number one most missed opportunity when it comes to daily deals like Groupons, Living Socials, Valpaks is, our franchisee, they get a check for that each month. They get how many people went online, how many people went and purchased this, and these people are coming in with this offer, and we're servicing them. And we're getting, probably most of us, for the most part level, we're getting sample retail sales out of them at most on top of that. So what we're really supposed to do, and what the goal there is, if you're a spa consultant, if you're a spa director, maybe you're a new franchisee, the purpose of this is not to drive in that instant cash and get some instant revenue. Yeah, that's nice and all, and that'll help you hit payroll, and that'll be a nice little cushion for you later on whenever they send you that check. However, that is a buy it back tool. It always was meant to be a buy it back tool. We introduced it specifically as a buy it back tool when it was introduced into our world, into Planet Beach, in business in general, when these companies started coming out. That was always the main purpose of it. And whatever they spent on that originally when they purchased the coupon online or wherever they got it from, whether it's in a magazine or not, those are all materials and opportunities for you to take and say, listen, this is your second, third visit. You got one or two left. Here's what I want to do for you because I see how much you love this. I want to go ahead and I want to buy back what you already purchased because I want to get you set up on this easy pay program to where you can do this as much as you want, as often as you would like for just X amount of dollars. Today, it would be X amount of dollars, but because I want to purchase this from you, I'm going to implement that at the point of sale to where it'd be next to nothing to get you to join today, and we can continue to see your bright and shining face come in all the time. So I did want to make mention of that, although it's not one of your top 10, because again, I spilled over and I ran out of numbers. You guys know how much I can go on, but that is important for you to know as well, because that's huge and that's happening daily in our spas. We're missing so many opportunities to increase our net EFT because of that. And I think that if you actually broke it down and realized how many that is, and you actually just ran one of these daily deals, it might possibly make you sick to know that number. So let's start paying attention to it now if we haven't done so already, especially if you are in the number of we're currently running a Groupon or a daily deal as we speak. That's something to pay attention to. All right, so here we go. We're going to get into it now. We're going to get this started. Number 1, explaining the brand before they're excited. Now, what do I mean by this? When you're distributing print materials like guest passes, $50 gift certificates, vouchers, whatever it is that you're handing out, flyers, or if you're gathering leads, if you're at a promotion and you're trying to get a name and a number out of somebody to come and commit to a day of spa services, and it's all of those things where you have a staff that has to approach people. We often think that we need to explain what Planet Beach is, what we do, what our services are, explain the details of the offer, what we offer, coming in, please, you're begging them, you're being that annoying fragrance counter girl that's handing out those smelly little cards and chasing you down in the mall, right? We don't want to be that. We never wanted to be that. And it's so misunderstood. It's a misconception across the board because one of the reasons is why we do that is because of our previous work experience. Many of us have had jobs before or own other businesses or have owned other businesses before where when you think of outside promotion and marketing and going out and advertising and marketing for Planet Beach, it has always been trained in you before to do all of these things, right? Approaching someone, hi, have you ever heard about Planet Beach before? We're now a spray and spa. We created the concept, and the touch of a button, our members can enjoy a relaxing spa. You're rambling, and I don't even know who you are yet. You're kind of creeping me out, and you're in my personal space. I need you to back up 3 feet, right? That's usually what our staff usually comes back saying. Nobody wants to give us their names. Nobody wants to give us their numbers. The number 1 rule of thumb in sales is, and I'm sure you can finish the statement, people buy from who they like, right? So if I don't know you, I'm not going to like you off the bat just because you walked up to me and you smiled. I'm not going to feel comfortable just yet. I'm not going to be somebody who's going to buy into what you're selling, because when you're prospecting, guess what? You are selling. You're selling them on being excited enough to come in to your spa, check you out, use your services, and ultimately buy from you at that time. So, what is the alternative? Danielle, what is the solution? Well, we'll go through a couple of different ideas for you if you feel like you fall in that number under that quadrant 1 misconception. Change everything you're doing. Like literally wipe a clean slate. Even if you've been with Planet Beach for 5, 10, 15 years, I don't care. Stop thinking on what you're thinking. Stop doing what you're doing, because guess what? You're insane. What I mean by that is, what is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if that's the case, franchisees, if you have spa directors that have staff that will not market, will not prospect, or are marketing and prospecting but failing, then it's time to evaluate your spa director and find out what type of things are you doing daily to figure out A, what the problem is, and B, what are your backup plans. If this doesn't work, what is your backup plan to this, right? So that's the time for you franchisees to sit back and go, it's time for me to have a talk with my spa director and sort of see, where are you dropping the ball as a leader? Because maybe they're managing too much because they're so overwhelmed because they got so much on their plate. We all know a spa director's job is not easy. So that might be the time where you have to come in and have to be that support system and offer, hey, listen, since you're doing so well and you're, doing all these other things, would you like for me to step in and do a training on this or what? Because they're not prospecting correctly. That's why it's not working. It does work. It's just not being executed properly. So what do I mean by this? Changing your approach. Make them ask you who you are and what Planet Beach is. How do you do that? Well, we all know the age old started off with a compliment. If you've been to any Planet Beach or taken any Planet Beach trainings recently in the past couple of years, we all know the best way to bring somebody's guard down, make them feel comfortable, get them warmed up is to compliment them. Um, Not to get too personal here or turn into a therapist, but here's the deal. We're very customer experience driven nowadays. Planet Beach has evolved so much that we rely on that impact that a customer gets in order for them to feel confident and comfortable enough to be able to stick with us, right? So, with that being said, you never know what somebody's going through in their day to day lives. You never know what somebody wakes up, fakes a smile, might get through their day to day. You just never know what they're dealing with. So, a compliment can go so far, and without remembering to do that, let's talk about the girl on girl crime here. Okay, it is a thing, it does exist, and it's very difficult sometimes for, especially if you have a staff made up more so of females. It's hard for another female to go up to another female to get them excited and get them talking about Planet Beach and wanting to come into Planet Beach, because there's that weird guard that goes up and you just don't know a person's personality, again, what they're going through, nothing. But a compliment, everybody loves a compliment. Everybody loves talking about themselves, especially your consumers. They always love to tell you where they got something. If you tell them that those shoes are cute, they're going to tell you where they got it, even if you don't ask, right? Has that ever happened to you before? So if that's the case and you're recalling these moments of when somebody's complimented you, or when you knew you wanted to get something out of your mother, your father, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever, what is the first thing you do? Oh my God, mom, you look so amazing today. Have I told you how much I loved you? Right? And then what do you want? Right? It's that kind of mindset. So think, compliment. When you see somebody and you're at some type of event where you're trying to get a name and a number, or where you're trying to hand out guest passes, or whatever your goal is when you're out in the field and you're doing anything, strike up a conversation with a compliment. Oh my gosh, where did you get that outfit? That looks amazing on you. I'm actually going to an event this weekend. I'd love to know where you got it, so that I can go and get the same thing, right? That is the perfect guard thrower, right? They're going to be like, oh my God, thank you. I got it from here and there and da 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 da. And they're just going to start yakking away, going on and on and on and on and on about their outfit and what their style is. And you're building a what? A relationship. So when you're building that relationship, guess what? They're liking you more and more and more and more. You guys have probably heard in previous webinars before, and if not, I'm going to go ahead and share this with you so you can feel free to steal it. One of my favorite things to do anytime I wanted somebody to give me a name and number or buy something from me in their first timer is, you look so familiar. Where do I know you from? The funny thing there is, when you're talking to someone and you say that, even if they don't like you, even if for some reason that little, you're failing to succeed at getting them to warm up to you and start sort of get comfortable, doing that, if it does anything, gets their mind going. They start looking at you like, the eyes are squinting like, I don't think we know each other. No, you have a familiar face. I feel like I've seen you before. Do you have a sister or brother? And guess what's happening? You're opening up that conversation where they're starting now to be engaged with you because they just want to know. And that could be a good transition. That's a good segue. So feel free to steal that. That's always worked for me, because what always ended up happening here is, all right, so what's Planet Beach? Who are you with? Are you with them? What is a Planet Beach? What do you guys do? Is that tanning? And bam, you're in. You're in. That is the perfect way to go out and hand out guest passes and go out and get names and numbers at any event, promotion, whatever it is that you're set to do. That is the perfect way to do it, because guess what? You're not chasing them at that time. They're asking you, right? So if they don't, keep that in mind. You always need to have a transition into their mindset in a PB discussion, right? Learn their hot buttons to know what to showcase about Planet Beach. Let's just say they don't ask you where you're from, what you do, what is a Planet Beach. They don't do that. It was never 100% every time for me. So I know that's never going to be the case all the time unless you're like 100% awesome at this. And I would love to pick your brain if that's the case. But otherwise, let's say they don't. And you know that you've been talking a little bit, they've been warming up to you, you can see that they're getting along with you, they're having conversation. A good transition into their mindset in the Planet Beach discussion would be, you know what, I don't want to take up too much of your time. What I'd like to do in return, though, as a thank you, as a thank you for just, stopping by and, just because I like you or had a good conversation, I want to go ahead and give you a day of spa on me. Like spa services over at Planet Beach. I want to give that to you and as many people as you'd like, or two, three, put a limit. Don't limit yourself, but put a limit on the number depending on, how many people and how big your spa is. That's a perfect way, a perfect transition statement into that. And I welcome you guys to use that. But transition their mindset into Planet Beach discussion, inviting them in by saying, you know what, I mean, I'm taking up too much of your time. Please, please, please. I'd love to be able to, when I get back to the spa here in like an hour or two, I'm going to check the appointment book. Why don't you go ahead and give me your cell number? Because what I can do is give you a call or text you, whatever you want, and let you know what times and availabilities I have today and tomorrow to be able to let you come in and use some of these services. Oh, well, what services? What do you mean spa, Planet Beach? That's whenever you want to go into discussing what Planet Beach is, but limit yourself on the time because what you always want to do is leave the mystery and suspense for them to want to come in your spa. It is a possibility, folks. And what's happening now, the current misconception of how we're conducting these now is the problem that is coming from that is that you're talking yourselves out of the sale. You're talking yourselves out of the deal. You've bored them, right? They don't know what a slim capsule is. So don't kick off your statement of explaining those services to them saying, well, we have Slim Capsule, we have the hydration station, and we have Hot Box Detox. These are all services that will help you lose weight, blah, blah, blah. Well, they have no idea what those names mean or represent. They don't know what a red light therapy is for the most part. Still, it's very, 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 we're still uneducated as a whole, consumer-wide as what that is. So you always need to remember to take off your Planet Beach caps and start talking layman terms and start talking to them based on what you've already revealed in your relationship building so far at the promotions. This is strictly for lead gathering, not just for sales. You've probably heard this before when it comes to closing membership sales. This is specific to you're finding out from this person what they do, where you might know them from, if they go to a gym, where they've gotten their outfit from. You'll see by looking at them if they take care of themselves and their skin looks amazing, what are they using? But you'll know at that point to discuss the services that match with their hot buttons. And when we say hot buttons, we mean what their WIFM is, right? What is their specific area of interest? If I had to compare it to something, I would compare it to the personal spa profile where they list what areas of interest they are most important or most intrigued into hearing about. That's what a hot button is. So you reveal that with your relationship building in this process. And if I were you, I would only talk about those services that I feel like was already communicated to me through their body language and through their discussion. So if I see that somebody is maybe 100 pounds soaking wet, am I really going to highlight and showcase and talk about and bore them with weight management services? I don't think so. But whenever I talk about having them come in with a friend, I could talk to them about having them come in with their mothers, aunts, dads, anybody else in their life because they most likely have other people that might be interested in that. But look to those opportunities to discussing the services that you do have that seems like or that they've communicated to you that they'd be interested in. Talk about that. Explain what the service is before telling them the name of the service. So in other words, we have liquid vitamin steam treatments for your skin that has steam, that it has concentrated minerals and vitamins mixed in with that steam in your body's envelope, similar to a body wrap in a day spa. And that's our hydroderma fusion treatment. That is our number one most popular member fave. That is what we're definitely want to get you in to use. You know what? I want to go ahead and get you in there. Let me go ahead and get your name and number. When I get back to the spa in a second, I'm going to let you know what availabilities we have. That'll give you some time to figure out who you want to bring with you. That's successful prospecting and successful marketing. Now think and stop. What did you do in your last one? What did you sound like? Did it sound anything like that? Did it sound the approach, how you did it? Did it sound as convincing as I want to hook you up, not I'm trying to get you in there and take your money? Because if the answer to that is no, it's most likely why you were not successful in getting that in the first place. So, number 2, I'm working by myself and I can't prospect and I can't market. Now, I'm going to venture to say 80% of you are nodding your head right now. I just can't see your pretty little faces. And I know the struggle. Trust me, the struggle is very real. I'll take a second to say that every week I still go into the stores, our Luling location, and I pull shifts. I roll my sleeves up with you guys because I tell you that I know everything unless I have to experience it myself, right? So I'm going in there once a week right now and I'm working shifts and I'm seeing it. A lot of times I'm by myself. So working by yourself does not mean you can't get names, numbers, and email addresses. Working by yourself doesn't mean you can't book right appointments. Many of us are forced to work by ourselves in the store. There's no way to lead gather, Danielle. When I'm in the store, I'm operating and I'm selling to customers and members coming in. I can't possibly find, how do you want me to leave and go get names and numbers? Well, this is wrong. This is a very, very, very wrong thing. And I know you probably heard a couple of different solutions to this, but you've always learned the what and not the how. And you guys know that I'm big on the how. Well, yeah, sure, you want us to get member referrals, but that doesn't work here. You'll notice that's one of the most common misconceptions as well. You'll see that in just a second. But here's some solutions, and we're going to go through how you can do that. There's a red appointment around every corner. We just don't even think about it. What do I mean by that? First and foremost, when you come in and your new open and close checklist, I'm not sure if you're using the new open and close checklist. That's why I threw it in the handout section for you. Yes, I know. I think of everything, right? But see your handouts because the new open and close checklist is in there, confirming red and member appointments. Now, I'm going to stop for a second. Some of you have members that come in every single day at the same exact time that you know for a fact is coming in. Danielle, why on earth would I want to add any more work to myself by taking time out of my day, even though it's just a minute or two, taking that time that counts to call and confirm somebody I know is coming in? Well, yes, spa directors, you know that they're coming in. Yes, franchisees, you know they're coming in. Yes, spa consultants, you know that they're coming in. However, it's something that is going to help you self-discipline yourself to stop and write down a game plan for each and every conversation that you're going to have with them when they come in. Right now, when you're in the store by yourself, and I know that many of you, probably all of you, will probably nod your head to this one as well. They're coming in. You probably just got through cleaning their service, getting it ready for them. Maybe you were on the phone in the middle of booking another appointment for another member. You just hung up, and you're taken off guard. They might have an appointment, but you didn't pay attention to it. You didn't see it coming because you're doing something else, right? And they just walked in and they're there for their service. They sign in. Maybe you're doing some of those things. You might be walking them back and forth. You might be doing that. You might be one of those spas, but maybe you're just, yeah, hey, look, I'm by myself. I got things going on. Room 3's ready. You're taken off guard. So you don't have the opportunity to do the slow it down. Hence what I just said a few minutes ago when I said you've heard a couple of solutions but said it's not realistic to slow them down when I'm a one-man show. Your solution to that is to confirm them as an opening checklist item, which is in that sheet. Now, that's in a Word doc. So if you have other items on your checklist that maybe you've customized for yourself that you use daily, that's not the one that we recommend, feel free to add those onto this one. That way, what you're doing here is it's just a training method. It's not really something that is necessary in hindsight to call or text the member like, hey, are you coming in for hydration? Yes, Danielle, you always call me every single day. What the heck? It's really not about that. It's really to remember and remind yourself to get that piece of paper or pull up their profile and make the notes to say, she's coming in at this time, talk about member appreciation this Thursday, and incentivize her with like a free spa product gift if she brings more than one person in with her. Have this conversation. You know your members, right? You know that your approach with Miss Mary is not going to be the same approach with Tiffany, who works 2 jobs and is a full-time student. She ain't got time for this, right? So that is what we are talking about when we say confirming member appointments. It not only gives you the opportunity to game plan in advance, that way you're not taken off guard. You have that opportunity to prepare based on the notes you took on confirming them when they've confirmed back with you, to slow down and say, oh my gosh, you know what? I thought of you this morning. I talked to my franchisee or I talked to my owner, my boss, whatever. She said that we have this going on right now. And I know that you work over in that doctor's office. I know we can totally get you set up and hooked up with your membership dues being paid for. So stop paying for that. Give me all those names. Or while you're in your service, pull up Facebook or message your friends or send out an email. And when you come out, I'm going to get that information from you. We'll start working on getting you set up with your membership, paid for by us, right? So that's when you actually start seeing the results. So use the open and close checklist as a new self-discipline training reminder for yourselves to be able to plan ahead and not get taken off guard last minute where people walk out, and I know many of us have had this happen. This just happened to me last week in the store. People walking out and you're like, oh my God, I totally could have had that conversation. She totally would have bought this, or she totally would have gave me this, right? We do this way too often, and it's time to stop it and control it. So that's a solution for that. Customers and members calling to make service appointments. I'm a one-man show. The phone's ringing. People are just calling to make appointments. It's interrupting my sales process with another person that came in asking about services. Well, you know what? When a member calls every single time, and listen, it's going to seem like it is just so redundant. It's important for you to know that everybody, have a swear jar. Everybody calling to make an appointment. Hey, Miss Mary, I'm noticing that I got 2 other spa services available at the same time. I know you're coming at lunch. Who else from the office wants to come in? It'll be on me. Don't even worry about it. Have them come in, and they don't have to worry about paying for anything. I'll give them their sample while you're using services, and they'll be able to get a massage, or they'll be able to get oxygen, or they'll be able to use this service or that service while you're doing this. And then when Miss Mary's in there and she brings all her friends, those are red appointments. You're getting the names. Okay, well, what's their name and their phone number? That way I can at least create a profile to reserve the times. That way nobody else comes in. Here's a simple solution to those who keep saying no. If you're currently doing that, or if you've tried to do that and people keep saying no, or, oh, I don't really know, I don't know anybody that would want to come in with me, reserve it anyway. Here's how. Well, I'll tell you what, because it's never usually this available, we are always back to back. Stop right there. That is telling you right now you're a hot commodity. That member is sitting back going, wow, well then, there must be something going on over there, or that's pretty cool. I think I want to see it if somebody wants to come in with me, right? So I'll tell you what, Miss Mary, we have so many other services available, which is never the case. So I want to reserve maybe 2 rooms for you anyway, and I'll just go ahead and put TBD, or just reserve it under your name, just in case. And why don't you do this? Find out from the office, walk around, see if there's anybody, because I'd rather accommodate for you versus you showing up with them last minute and me not be able to accommodate them because these spots may get taken before then. People are calling and booking, or they're booking online all the time, so I definitely don't want you to find somebody when it's too late, right? So that's a good solution to those of you who are trying this currently. But that's just another way, if you're working by yourself, for you to get red appointments. It's as easy as implementing and taking advantage of all opportunities that present themselves. Reports and marketing queries in Spa Intel. There's so many reports you can pull when it comes to getting names, numbers, and email addresses, like current and active members and customers. Maybe there are expired members, expired customers, right? Birthdays. Birthdays are awesome, you guys. You can throw a birthday party for somebody and tell them how many people that you can accommodate, and say, listen, as one of your member benefits, we will host a birthday party for you before or after hours. Usually it's after hours on a weekend, and we can accommodate up to 8 people. I provide the cake and I send out the evites. So I would need a list of the names and the email addresses and even the phone numbers of the people that you plan to invite, and you provide whatever beverages and food, and you have run of the spa. You guys all just get to use the services, mainly, even if they're not members, right? So what do we just do there? That's 8 other people that I got a name, number, and email address for, because she thinks I'm sending out an email invite for her birthday party, to celebrate her birthday party as being a member. That's tackling 2 things. That's member retention, because that's amazing customer service and experience for the member. That's flattering. They'll love that. And then B, you're getting different people coming in there, when at that party I'm pulling Miss Mary aside saying, hey, guess what? You know what else? I want to pay for your membership dues for the next year or so. So if at least 5 of these people become a member the same way you did and love the services that much, if you can find at least 5 of these girls to do that, I'll pay for your membership dues for an entire year. You won't have to pay us a thing unless you need products for stuff. I mean, then, and in that case, that's Miss Mary's gonna go back and go, all right, y'all, give me your credit cards. This is happening. This is happening. Give it to me. I need the money right now. So this is my birthday. Give me your credit cards. Get a membership. That's as easy as what? Just throwing a birthday party. So how simple was that entire process? And when Miss Mary's out there selling it for you, you're not so much a salesperson yourself. Guest registers. Pull old guest registers while you're in the spa. That dreaded 10 o'clock hour where it's so dead and it's so slow and you've already done a couple of your tasks for the day and you really don't know what to do next. What's the next step? Pull old guest registers from a few months back and start calling people that didn't sign up or maybe bought something temporary and never came back in, or you couldn't buy back towards a membership, or bought something temporary and just never came back for you to offer the buyback. Those are all people that you could call, invite back in. Hey, as a thank you for stopping by, Planet Beach wants to provide you with a day or a week of spa membership. Come on in, blah, 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 blah. Book the red appointment like that. You don't have to leave the spa to do it. Internet and social media, updating social media pages. Guys, I can tell you the other day I got 2 titanium sales and 2 gold members. How did I do it? I went to Facebook and I posted a status. Okay? I went and posted a status in specific groups. I joined specific groups on Facebook. It was that simple. And as a thank you for letting me join your group, here's what I want to offer. Come on in and use a day of spa services. Come on in and on me, I'd love to be able to, I'll foot the bill for it, right? I'm not using the word free too excessively, right? Because free still works, just in certain cases. Hey guys, message me with your phone number. Just found out that I can give away a day of spa for you and 3 people if you message me with your phone number and email address. I'll hit you up, and I'm talking to them on Facebook like I would talk to them on Facebook, right? Not, hey, Planet Beach is currently offering this and that and this and that. Like, okay, I just saw that in my news feed. I'm gonna hide you forever. I'm not. You're annoying me, and you're selling something. We have friends that do that, right? But all I did was post on Facebook, hey guys, I'm doing this. I just got the green light. I can give out a day at the spa. This is $117 value. You could bring up to 3 people. Message me with your number and your email address, and I'm gonna give you a shout, and I'm gonna hook you up with the times that you can use, right? So I'm talking to them like that, like everybody talks on Facebook. And that was the outcome. I wouldn't necessarily contribute it 100% to that of being so successful with so many member sales. However, that provided me that extra opportunity and that added opportunity for me, because I would have just got 2 gold members that day, not 2 titaniums and 2 golds. So consider that. You do have walk-in traffic right now, but what else can you do that's simple? That was simple. It was critical thinking. It was posting something, and that was all I needed to do that day to get what I needed in order to make the sales. So the internet and social media is your best friend, guys. We live in a digital age. Let's take advantage of it. Member and customer referrals. Number 1 most common misconception there, when you were working by yourself and we talk about getting member referrals. You might have signage posted up and enter to win, but it's collecting dust. I've seen it in many of your stores. It's collecting dust, literally, like clean your enter to win bundles, please. Never rely on the signage. Never rely on the customer or the member coming up to you from that signage to be successful. And to be successful in this, you have to be well trained and disciplined, to be vocal in every single interaction that you have coming in and out of that spa every single day. Yeah, we're making the invisible visible here with signage, with putting the bundles out, with putting out whatever it is that we're raffling, the wheel, this and that. But that's only because if you are working by yourself, you have that extra help and assistance on getting that in the eyes and in the ears of the people coming in and out, in case you're in the back folding towels, or in case you're in the middle of doing something else. You at least have that working for you when you can't stop and slow them down. But your real true purpose in the spot is to stop them and talk to them about this. The signage is just the fallback, right? That's just in case you are working by yourself and your bed cleaner doesn't get there till 3. So never rely on the signage. Make that your secondary, not your primary. Right now, a simple change that could help you and go a long way is, and write it down. A simple solution to that is, if you currently have signage out, you currently have this stuff out now, switch it. Make that your secondary, make being vocal your primary, versus the other way around, which is currently happening right now for you most likely. A couple of different things you can do. Business card drops is the easiest thing, especially if you're in a strip mall next to nail salons, hair salons, restaurants, anything like that. A simple fish bowl with some, decorative spa rocks in it, with a little sign, 8x10 sign in a frame to leave out, would be perfect. To say, hey, listen, can I leave this here? I just want to be able to offer your customers coming in and out an opportunity to get and win a free day of spa for their business or for their office that they work for. Or maybe They can get an exclusive spa party. That's a whiff for the business owner that you're asking that from, because A, those customers are going to be excited about going in and out of there because they're going to have an opportunity to get something else other than what they were going in there to pay for. So that's one good thing. And then B, always offer those other businesses opportunities to use your services free in doing so. And then you could even leave that in your spa as well. Put it in the restrooms, put it in the lobbies, sitting areas, waiting areas. Business card drops have been very successful lately for a lot of our stores. Enter to win, and of course, member appreciation party. Number 3, ambassador program has been overly abused, Danielle, and it just does not work anymore. Because we used ambassador programs so often, our members are used to it. If they're not and they're new and they're not used to being hounded all the time, then they just aren't interested in giving up any of their contacts and their network and on all of their contact information. It just doesn't bring in leads. You're wrong. It does bring in leads. It works. It does work. Here's how. If you find yourself saying that, if you find that it doesn't work for you, stop calling it an ambassador program. That is a very salesy word. Now, that's something that we've learned over time to be true, to be the case, because we have learned the hard way. Ambassador program sounds like 100% like, stay away from me. You're going to try to sell me something. I don't like to be sold. I'm annoyed. Get out of my face. So stop calling it that and start training your staff. The best thing is a swear jar. I'm telling you, put $1 in every time you hear them call it something like that. That'll get them to stop pretty quick. Member referrals are the number one most successful lead source for top spas. Why? We just now gave an example of Miss Mary at a birthday party. If anything, when the member is fully aware and knowledgeable that you're going to do something for them, like have them save money, not take their money, you're a business. Wait a minute. You're a business. You are in sales and retail, and I know that as a consumer. So why is it that you're trying to save me money instead of take it? That is a very interesting thing that goes through the consumer's mindset when you're talking to them. So if they're not thinking that, they're not going to do it. And in turn, what's going to happen is, I do this to Lindsay all the time, my very best friend. Hey, go over here because I get something free if you go buy this. Hey, go over there, go get something from there because then I get 2 months for free if you join. She does it to me all the time. I think I'm a member at like 2 different gyms and I'm paying membership dues places and I don't even go to the gym. So that goes to show you right there how the power of the consumer can hold your success right then and there. The top spas will tell you this, that the number one most successful lead generator is member referrals because it's not just you selling it. It's 2 people working on it. You're tag teaming a consumer based on a member having a whiff 'em, a what's in it for me, and you having a whiff 'em. You need to make your sales, right? So that right there is probably the number one most the number one biggest reason why top spas are so successful in that. They understand that, and the second you understand it and you get your team to understand that, they'll start seeing it and understanding it more so to do it more, and then they'll be more effective at it because they understand the why. Approach is everything, people. Approach is everything. If I say, oh, and just FYI, Miss Mary, we are right now we're doing a big ambassador program push. Wrong. But we're doing a big ambassador program push, and for everybody that you refer who signs up and gets a membership with us, you get 1 month for free of your dues. For 5 people, you get a year. For 10 people, you get a lifetime as long as you keep them at 10, and at 5, you get to keep your dues for free. Everything that I just said might work on a consumer that might be how they like to be sold. That might be how they respond. But 70% of the time, this is what your consultants are saying out there to your members, and they're shutting them down quick like. However, if I approach Miss Mary and say, oh my gosh, congratulations, you've been with us for however many months, or you've used however many services. This is super exciting because now, Miss Mary, you qualify for our loyalty program. Well, what's a loyalty program? I'm excited about this. This is getting me happy and excited because you look happy and excited. Well, our loyalty program means you choose however many people you want. And what most members do who qualify for this, they just go in their services, they go through their contacts list, and then they come up with an entire list of people for me to reach out to and say, hey, this member got you a day of spa services for you to enjoy with another person, and I was calling to make an appointment for you. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to give out an endless amount of days of spa to as many people as you'd like. Coworkers, friends, family, neighbors, you name it, they get it, and it'll be on us. It's a $117 value. That'll be on us. And if any of those people decide that they love these services as much as you did when you became a member and they join us, then you know what? I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to say, guess what? Next month's dues, they're on me. If you could get up to 5 people though, Miss Mary, then I'm going to say, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I'll pay for the next year of your membership for you. How does that sound? Miss Mary at that point versus Miss Mary the first time around when I was talking about the ambassador program and referring and signing up for memberships, she freaked out, ran out because she's not going to give you her people's information for you to solicit, right? So that's what we mean by the approach is everything. Are you wording your approach to be a WIFM for you or a WIFM for the member? Turn the tables and make it seem like it's a loyalty program like we just discussed to use their membership while you pay for it. Stop using the word free when discussing dues waiving to the member. They can smell a catch coming. They're not stupid. Consumers are very smart. And use enter to win campaigns to make the entries have to be friends, names, and numbers rather than just discussions. In other words, if you find like you're talking about it too much, then switch it up a little bit and say, oh, you know what? You love using this contour oil and this enhance. Well, it's actually in this product bundle among other things, right? So if you want, we can go ahead and get you entered to win this by just, go on Facebook, post a status, and tell people to message you with their information to get a day of spa. The more you get, the more entries you get. That way you can get this stuff in here, right? This person thinks that you're trying to get them hooked up on getting products that they love buying from you, when in actuality, your WIFM is not being shown as much when you're trying to get their WIFM handled, right? Because you're going to get some leads out of it. So, it's a win-win for you. Try to use a different tactic. This is what we mean by have a game plan, have an approach, try different things to make a different impact. And lastly, there's no way that you'll be successful in any of this unless you role play and secret shop yourselves until you get it right. What does that mean? Secret shop yourselves. Well, if you're a spa director or a franchisee, send friends in or family members that your staff does not know about or has not been there before. Maybe if they've been there before, it was before they worked there, to see if all of this stuff that you'll bring back to them is actually being implemented the right way. So role play with them. Okay, now randomly, you're in there with, it's a shift turnover, you're a spa director, your consultant's coming in to take the evening shift because you get off at 4 or 5 o'clock. That little, right after you do your, shift turnover, this is your goal, this is what you do. Right before you leave, just randomly go, okay, so I'm a member and you need to get referrals today. So how are you going to approach me? Pretend that I'm Mr. John or Miss Kate that comes in later on in the evening. She's coming in. How are you going to approach it? Pretend like I'm her. Go. That's how you do it. And that's how you can unveil that and you can actually see where they're going to drop the ball to prepare them on saying, no, you know what? Kate loves a deal. So why don't you offer to BOGO something for her to give to her daughter as a gift if she can provide to you 3 referrals from her office building. Offer that. Offer something free for her giving you a referral. She loves that. Try doing that effect. Don't say the word refer. You said the word sign up. Pinpoint those things, train them, and then send people in to make sure that they're actually doing it. Number 4, B2B setup and execution. We don't do B2Bs because businesses won't work with us. They have to approve it through their corporate offices. They're never interested. They throw away our lead boxes. Sometimes they'll say yes and allow us to go in and hand and pass out guest passes and coupons, but that's it, right? So for many of you who are doing B2Bs, which I speak to all the time, are saying, yeah, I have B2B set up. They'll let me go in there and pass out our $50 gift certificates all the time. Yeah, we love working with them. No, that's not helpful because your return on your investment with guest passes are very slim to none. It's just a quadrant. It should not be your main source of marketing. If it is, that's probably why you're failing to see people come in your door. Guest passes are just like a side thing for you, right? Like if I'm in the middle of getting a name and number because I'm prospecting, I want to control the outcome of this person, and I see someone walking past me that's interested in learning more, but I can't break that relationship, I'm going to give you something in hand to walk away with because that's just another method of reaching out and making brand awareness at least, and I'm not doing nothing about it. So, because this is wrong, we're going to talk about some solutions here. B2Bs, I think it's safe to say that Planet Beach's business model is built to be successful based on belly-to-belly marketing. And what that means is word of mouth, referrals, getting people around us to talk great about us, to get us to come into the doors. Now, businesses in your area have the same exact interest in mind. They want the same things. Therefore, they're going to be more willing to work with you if you stop what you're doing, okay, and you rethink your entire approach to trying to set up a B2B. If I go to another business manager and I walk in, oh, well, let me rewind a little bit. If I was still a spa director, those people that used to come into the stores all the time and talk about, hey, we want to talk about business opportunities where, we set up, accounts with you guys and this and that. It's disrespectful to say the least, right? It's very disrespectful to say the least that you didn't take somebody's time into consideration. A manager has a lot on their plate. So they're most likely, when you show up unannounced like that, rude, don't do it. They're going to already not like you and get a bitter taste in their mouth, not just for you as a person and an individual, but they're going to put Planet Beach's brand. They're going to put Planet Beach in that same mindset, and they're not going to be, they won't even become a member or even go over there, period, themselves. So keep that in mind. The first thing that you guys need to do, if you did not take the VIP Business Partnership webinar training that was hosted a couple of months ago, in your handouts, there's a Word doc with a link that says click here to get to the folder that's in Orion that contains not only the recorded webinar, but all the manuals, the documents that's needed in order to push any B2Bs, because that's going to help you with that as well. So you need to take that first and foremost to understand what they are, because it's very, 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 very common misconception on what is to be incorporated in setting these up. Call ahead and ask for management. So, where do I start? I'll give you a little starting point, even though this isn't a training for this. Google. Google, what are the businesses in 2 miles? What are businesses on this street that I work on? If I'm on Barataria Boulevard, for example, all businesses in the 2 mile radius on Barataria Boulevard in Marrero, Louisiana. And then bam, there's an entire list that comes up for you. And you can reach out to them. Word of advice, hit the mom and pops up first, and then hit the big franchise or chains or franchising companies that have other locations, or individually owned or whatever, have a corporate office. Save them for last because you want to knock out the easier ones first. But call all of those that you have on that list and ask to speak to the manager. Inform them that you chose them. Hey, we selected you to be our business partners of the week, and I'm calling to get a head count of your employees. How many people that you have staffed in that office or in that location, because I would love to be able to drop off free gifts or free spa products gifts or spa product bundle with like eye mask, lip balm, little things like that. And I'd love to drop them off whenever you're there so I can give them to you to distribute out to your staff. That's calling ahead. That's asking what time they'll be there, and that's asking for a time that the specific manager will be able to be there to allow you that opportunity to take your time in discussing this instead of being rushed, instead of just showing up there, which maybe you're doing or not doing right now. I'm not sure. First and foremost, discuss there with them to kick off the discussion of partnering up. If I sit there and go, have you ever heard about Planet Beach before? Well, here's what we do, blah, 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 blah. You're going to start seeing them check their phone for the time. They're going to be looking down at their watch. You're boring them. And if they're nice to you, they'll just smile and nod their head and say, I'll get back with you. But most likely they'll say, I don't have time for this. I have to go. And then they'll get upset. And that's rude. You're not being mindful of their time. But if you kick it off with something like, hey, you know what? I didn't realize this, but you got a lot of people in here that would probably be the same exact demographic that we have. Um, you could probably get a whole bunch more customers by partnering up with us. We have businesses very similar to yours that come in from Member Appreciation Day. They advertise to our members when we send out email blasts. We work hand in hand with them, and they get customers from us all the time because we have a member database. That's where you guys are sitting pretty. Planet Beach, with that membership database, other businesses, when they learn that, they start salivating. Literally, they're like, oh my gosh, recurring revenue, a guarantee of people coming in and out of there all the time, in and out all the time. Like, not just a one and done type of business model. These are people constantly coming in and out. I want part of that, right? So that's a great way to kick it off. Why aren't we working together, man? You can make so much money partnering up with us. In a lot of our different business partners that are similar to this, to you guys, a lot of them find a lot of success whenever they partner up with us. Usually what they do is come to our member appreciation party. We'll highlight them every other month or so as the business of the month. They'll give us specific vouchers, gift certificates, or coupons, or something to leave out for our members as an exclusive offer as being partners with us, because it drives in even more sales for them. And usually what we do is we just like, once a week or so set up shop for like an hour with an enter to win bundle and offer their customers an opportunity to win some free spa stuff or trips or cash prizes. So, usually that's been very beneficial for a lot of businesses. Very similar to yours. We should do that. I kept it all about them just now. And I can tell you this, every sales manager has bonuses. Every sales manager has commissions and bonuses that they get if their sales quotas are met and exceeded, just like you. So, what is that going to happen? What's going to happen then is they're going to be excited about that. And then you go from there, basically. You have to start from the top and start by asking for that promotion. Where can I control the outcome? I want to go in there and get names and numbers, right? If you keep getting turned down, go from the top and then work your way down. Okay, well then fine. Well, can I at least just leave these out, these gift certificates, or for everybody who, have your entire staff write their name on these gift certificates, staple them to receipts, put them in the bags whenever people check out. And every time somebody comes in on those, we'll allow another week of use to the spa for that employee. If they become a member, we'll give them an entire month. Ambassador program them. Everything is at your disposal. We're just not looking at the opportunities that we're missing there when it comes to taking those opportunities. Always think top and work down. Last case scenario, lead box maybe, but trade out. If it's a food place, well, okay, well then last case, worst case scenario, provide food from a member appreciation party, or do something where we can give you services and we get services ourselves. Talking too much about your whiff and will break the deal. So keep that in mind. Another common misconception, number 5, member appreciation parties are for sales. For member appreciation parties, we discount products and packages. Our focus is only on sales. This is wrong. Yeah, that's a huge part of it, guys. But what drives in the sales? How do you get sales? Who are you selling to, first and foremost? Where are they coming from? Where are they going? Who are they? Do you have anybody? The new rule is MAP should have 50 reds on that day to drive in new members, because our goal and purpose of member appreciation has gone from fire sales, driving some last minute sales there, to a bigger draft for next month. We're trying to get new members. How do we get new members? We need to book red appointments. You need to use all quadrants of marketing here. But it's pretty simple. You see that number 50 on your screen and you're panicking right now? Don't panic, because I'm going to show you just how easy it is to get that. Let's say it's the week of MAP. It's Monday. You have a total of 3 people that are working, that are rotating shifts from Monday through Thursday. Well, in order to get 50 reds, you need to make on average 13 reds a day, from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 13, 13, 13, 13, and then that'll give you your magic number of 50. So that's not so bad, right? Well, if you take the 3 people rotating shifts, if let's say you have an opener, a mid-shifter, and a closer, and they're all designated to book just 4 reds. Hey, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 to 5 person, 3 to 7 person, 1 to 9 person. You just need 4. You just need 4 to book on that Thursday. That's it. You have 50 red appointments. It's that easy. But what's happening is everybody's waiting until Wednesday or Thursday, and they're like, oh, I'm supposed to have 50 reds. No way. It's not attainable. It's not realistic, so no reds are being made, right? You're setting me up to fail. How am I going to have 50 reds? It's impossible. It's never happened. It has happened. I've done it. Top stores do it. We can do it. We just need to figure out how to break it down and make it sensible. Come up with a solution. Critical thinking skills are key. Breaking it down like this, that removes way more anxiety. 4 reds per shift. If I'm working 9 to 4, and all I need to do is make 4 reds, guess what I'm doing? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. What else do I have? Email blast, send a text message blast, use my Google whatever app. Hit up, pull a report. All I need is 4. Okay, so 6 people are coming in. These 3 will definitely give me some referrals. If anything, I'm just going to tell them to give me their business card, because I'm going to call their office and offer their bosses, some kind of incentive to come in. It's easy. So that's all you really need to do. You're not making it exciting enough for your members to show up. They're so tired of hearing the same song and dance, people. Member appreciation party last Thursday of the month. Everything's discounted. Okay, I heard you. I know. Or how many deal with this? I'm going to wait till the member appreciation party to get my lotion or my product. I'm going to wait till the member appreciation to re-up my sessions, because you guys always BOGO. And then you're like ripping your hair out going, how the heck do I overcome that? Well, make it more than just that. That's why it's important, and that's why we keep telling you guys, don't make it all about sales all the time. Come up with a different opportunity. Come up with hey, in my email blast this week about member appreciation party, I'm going to include which business partners will be there offering what. Then I'm going to reach out to the business partners and I'm going to say, what times would you like to come in and showcase some of your products and services? If it's a swimwear company, if it's a boutique, if it's, whatever, anything, a personal trainer coming in offering free advice on how to get your, glutes tight for the summer and that for your bathing suit body. Give them another reason to come in because that's going to be put on all of your communications, and have that put in your communications is key. Even if it's a text message blast, or maybe you have a B2B that sends out a newsletter that you're included in and that's part of your agreement, have them put that in your B2B. That's something that you guys can take advantage of as well, but invite those partners to come in there. What's that going to do? You have the end goal in mind of having a successful map. You know what a top spa director thinks? If I'm in the spa, I'm looking to not only have a successful map, but I'm looking to have ongoing sales after that map party. And what is that going to entail? Me inviting those B2Bs in here. I'm scratching their back. They're going to remember that next week when I call them and ask them if I can come in and do a promotion. They're going to scratch my back, right? So that's how you need to start thinking. Think bigger. Think outside of the box. Think ahead of the game. Don't think about what that one success is to bring you. And the games and the prizes and the themes you guys always hear about, the spin the wheel, right? The pop a balloon, theming it, base it around getting leads, not just sales, right? Pop a balloon, get 10% off. Well, try to incorporate that and use your creativity to make it be around getting leads, getting names and numbers as well. Don't make it just about sales. Spin the wheel, see what you get off, how much percent you get off of this product or whatever. Spin the wheel and make it more about sales. Make it more than just sales. Make it about how you can incorporate lead gathering in that. Number 6, duplicate or triple your opportunities. When you book one red, you celebrate it. When you sell a membership, you celebrate it. When you set up a B2B, you celebrate it. That's wrong. You're doing wrong. You did not do well by booking that one red appointment. You didn't do good by selling that membership. You did not succeed by getting set up with a B2B. Why is that wrong? Well, let's go through a few things. Getting just one of anything is great for now, but what are you doing to guarantee that you'll get that same opportunity tomorrow? Train on this. That's important, right? Yeah, I got a membership sale. Awesome. How many referrals did you get? Or awesome. Did you get a second sale? Or, things to that nature. Teach your staff, teach them to look ahead, teach them to think bigger for themselves and their own commissions. That is how you can guarantee that they can make big paychecks. If I don't show you how you can guarantee that you can make big paychecks, like I'm saying when I'm interviewing you, you can make whatever you want. It's commission based. If I don't show you how to do that, I'd be setting you up to fail and I'd be lying to you. So here is how you do it. I mean, that's great leadership skills right there alone. Don't ask them if they want to bring someone in. Ask them who they'd like to bring in. Asking them if is giving them the control by saying, who would you like to come in with you? Because I'm noticing here that we have some services available at the same time. That's key. Every time you ask someone to bring in a friend, make it plural. Don't say, who would you like to bring in? Say, how many people would you like to bring in and what are their names? That makes more sense, right? Because then they see, oh, I'm not limited. I could bring more than one because I have 2 sisters, not one. They're going to fight over who's going to come. They won't even bring that up or verbalize that. And you're not knowing, you might just get one sister and then find out they have another sister and they didn't think they could bring another person. That's the worst feeling in the world, folks. So always think ahead, think bigger. When you make a new member sale, discuss the ambassador program right then and there whenever you get so you can get a head start for tomorrow's game plan on booking reds. All right, so you wrapped up the sale. Woohoo, you got a membership, right? You got this, you got that, you got all these amazing things happening. You go to high five. I'm a spa director. I'm not high-fiving you because you didn't say, all right, now, so tomorrow, your appointment that we set up, do you want to come in like 10 minutes beforehand to learn about how you really don't have to pay anything a month for this? Or do you want to talk about that now? That's a perfect way to have that open communication and no, I'd love to hear how I don't have to pay $59 a month for this. Okay, perfect. Here's what you do. And then you go back into that example script that I gave to you guys earlier about the misconception of the ambassador program. Later on, this will be recorded. You could just rewind that to go back to that. Have a referral sheet by the member and guest registers. Leave it up front off the bat. You're expanding opportunities by doing this, and it's as easy as pressing print. Get the referral sheet to be right next to where your member sign-in sheet is. That way, if they see, oh, refer and win, refer and receive, and they happen to go, oh, you know what? Somebody yesterday at the office was just now saying, asking me what the prices were on spray tans. I'm gonna go ahead and put their name here. Those little things that happen. You know what? It may not be often, but you're increasing your chances just one more small step by doing so. Also, put it underneath personal spa profiles and consent forms as well, because what you don't realize is as people are filling those things out, they're not too sure on what they're, they might think they have to fill that out, and they're just going into the motion. And plenty of times I've noticed in stores that do this, when they're talking to the customer who's filling this out and they're like building that relationship, they're just flipping the page, filling it out, flipping the page, filling it out. And it's so funny, and I want you to try it. It's a challenge. I want you guys to physically try this one day. When you have somebody filling out that personal spa profile or that consent form, that release forms that they're filling out because they're new, they're coming in to try stuff, whatever, when you build that relationship with them where they get comfortable and talk and laugh, and you're actually going to get a little giggle out of this, because you'll notice as you're talking to them while they're doing it, they're flipping over and they see the refer and receive page, and they're in the middle of maybe telling you something as they're pulling their phone out and digging in their contacts, and they're just flowing right into it. They're not even paying attention. It's a little psychological trick right there. So I want you guys to take that back and try that. And please feel free to email me and let me know if you've tried it and what happens, or if that actually works, or, how you did it yourselves, because I'm always looking to steal you guys' ideas. Also, another really great missed opportunity, guys. I hope you're paying attention, because I know I've been rambling and we're almost done here, so hang tight. If someone's requesting to cancel or downgrade due to financial problems, or if they're looking to discuss how they can have their membership, or if they're looking to discuss a downgrade, I'm going back. If they're looking to discuss a downgrade with you and you chance losing out on money there, that is a perfect opportunity for you to talk about the ambassador program. Don't be so quick to start giving up on those who are like, listen, it's financial. She just can't afford it. I'm not going to sit there and tell her to freeze it, or I'm not going to fight her on a downgrade. She can't afford it. Well, you know what? There's a way she doesn't have to pay for it at all if all she does is refer people, right? That's a genius idea for you to duplicate your 2, 3, 4, 5 new members based on one person that's on their way out. You just took it, turned it around, and you completely took it the opposite direction, and you doubled, tripled, quadrupled what you had beforehand. So don't forget about the ambassador program. You can use that in every little thing that you do in the spa, and you can use that on every opportunity as well. Number 7. Appearance. Wearing smocks doesn't really matter. Why do you keep saying that? You guys are killing me with this. Please stop it with the smocks. I don't like them. They don't really care if my hair is in a messy bun. I still make sales. That plays no bearing. That's ridiculous. It's no big deal if I'm wearing flip-flops because I get my toes done, right? I don't have, quote unquote, I don't have ratchet toes. Or, I don't wear a lot of makeup naturally. If I start wearing it, it'll freak people out. This is all wrong. I've heard it a million times. There's not one staff member I have not encompassed in my lifetime, or personality that I have encompassed in my lifetime, that hasn't said one of the following things. So, what is a solution to this? Actually, there is no solution to this, because if you find that you are thinking and you are in that mindset, then A, why would the consumer believe you? Give them a reason to, why, if I'm approaching you to try to get you to come into a spa, why should they believe you? I'm selling health, beauty, and wellness, but I look like I just rolled out of bed, or I just went out and partied for 12 hours straight and came straight to work. Honestly, why would they? I'm asking you that question for you to answer that for me. If you wouldn't believe you, why would they believe you? So that's first and foremost the number one reason that you want to do this. When looking at appearance in reference to getting people to come into the spa, we talk about appearance as far as the customer experience. You got to look the part, right? We talk about it having the appearance be there for making the sale. You got to look like you use the services, right? Well, let's look at it in a reference to getting people to come in. You're prospecting, you're promoting. My goodness, you're a walking billboard. If you're wearing jeans, go shoot yourself. If you're wearing flip-flops, go shoot yourself. I don't care how nice the jeans are. They could be the fancy jeans. They could be, your hair could be up in a bun. Although it's, cute, messy, it's still cute, right? You can, I don't think that I'm going to wear makeup because, I have this reaction to my skin. It's a medical thing. I have a doctor's note. Whatever the case might be. If you're out there walking around talking about these services that can do this and that and this and that while you look like you need to use them yourself, they're not going to believe that your services and products work. So keep that in mind. Keep that all in mind. What does that mean? Take a nap. Set an alarm 15 minutes earlier. Take the time and effort into yourself to convince those customers, those consumers, that they can look as well as you. And I say as well because that can go along with anything that you do. So take the time into yourself and invest into yourself. And if you know right now you have staff members that's just not going to come, that will not conform to this, bye. Yeah, there's the door. If you don't want to change, somebody else is standing in line. I promise you, we have an employment problem in this country. Somebody is right there looking for a job that'd love to take your spot, right? You look certified is another reason. Here's another reason why that's a misconception whenever people say that it does not matter. It does, because it is proven that consumers will take advice of those who are qualified and certified to give them advice and programs. If you go into a gym, folks, and you go and you say, you know what, I'm looking to look like this, and you show them a picture of Britney Spears, aka or circa 2002 Slave for You days. Many of you might know that reference, many of you might not. You show them a picture of what you want to look like. Are you going to go to the person that looks like they are overweight, that they're tired, that they're sitting behind the desk, falling asleep, looking like they don't do anything good for themselves, that they look like they're eating a Big Mac behind the desk, right? Are you going to go to them? Are you going to go to the person that's wearing the shirt, that's got the logo on it, that looks the part, that has, the sculpted figure, that's currently out there training someone? Who are you going to go to, consumer? So I'm asking you guys that as a consumer and not as a Planet Beach person, and I want you to really think about that and really drive that point home. If you have current staff that you or if you are staffing currently and you want to get this well known and well understood off the bat as to remember that age old training trick that I've given to you guys before. I am less likely to deliver and execute what you're expecting me to deliver and execute as your spa consultant if you don't tell me why it's important for me to do it. Why do I have to do it? So when explaining it like that, I know why it's important for me to make it a point to bring my makeup bag if I'm going out all night, because I need to make it look like I did not go out all night, because ain't nobody going to buy from me, right? So that is exactly how you need to be training your staff, and that's exactly for you to take in as well. Number 8, customer service is no big deal. I know nobody really says that, and I'm sorry for the text talk. I just wanted to be kind of cool, okay? So I can't worry about staying on top of my online reviews, Danielle. I'm in here by myself. I got bigger problems to worry about. I'm trying to find somebody. I'm trying to get out of here, not work 12-hour shifts, right? If I get around to the online reviews, then I'll get around to it. But right now I'm busy. It is busy season, click. That literally happened to me the other day. But this is wrong. This is very, very wrong. Well, yeah, what's the solution? Okay, well, we live in an online reviews kind of world, right? I want you to just picture that. You understand that as well as I do. I have not one friend that will not go on Yelp first before trying something out. Me, I don't personally. That's a legitimate testimony. I am Eileen. I have not one friend. I'm like, really? Do you need to go look at this person could be an emotional roller coaster person that just got upset because, you've been in this industry before. Why are you judging it on that? Well, no, because there's 3 or 4 or 5 other people that said the same thing. Well, your consumers see you behind that counter acting like they're not a priority because your priority is not having to work in the spa and you're currently on the phone trying to hire somebody while they're standing there tapping their feet ready to go into a service, or something's dirty and you can't even deal right now with responding to their complaint, or you don't want to send them a nice little gesture for saying something nice about you. That takes 5 or 10 minutes to check every single day if you stay on top of it, folks. It's super important. Find that time to do it in your open and close checklist. That's the solution. Find that time when you're opening up in that slow 9:30 or 10 o'clock hour when we're talking about doing all this other stuff. Do it at that time. Because no attention to poor customer service reviews will affect your future guest traffic. I don't care what you say. I do not care what you say. I worked in the store last week and had a similar situation where I had to overcome 14,872 objections because it all boiled down to when I kept drilling down with questions, it was revealed that they had a poor taste in their mouth from the previous person that worked there. So, with that said, it's going to affect your future guest traffic because this person loved everything. They were just skeptical because of their previous experience. And guess what? That person's very well known and connected in that area. That person works in a place in that specific town where she knows like 50 other people. And that affected us ultimately because when the new staff came in and we're in there and we're hustling and bustling, we're hitting up for referrals, that person's not doing the referrals just because they would never recommend anybody go in there. So think about those things. Word of mouth marketing becomes everything for businesses now. And take the time to under promise and over deliver. Go the extra mile because there is never any traffic there, folks. 9, one of my favorites, inadequate staff. I can't find good people and I'm okay with my current staff. I can't go out and I can't prospect. I can't promote. I can't get referrals. We're not good at this, but that's not a priority for me right now because I have to make payroll later on. So I need to hang up this phone call really quick because I got to go make some sales. Right? I'll worry about hiring later. I'll worry about getting the right people in my spa later on. This is good for now because it's paying the bills. Wrong. Wrong. Absolutely 100% wrong, especially if you're a franchisee who does not go in there to see the negative habits or are brainwashed by the negative habits and don't even realize. That's the scary part about being brainwashed. You don't even realize that you're brainwashed by the negativity. So that's very important for you. If you find yourself in that number, well, I'm not getting red appointments made. It is all just guest walk-in traffic. I did 2 performance reviews yesterday where the guest traffic was they had like 60 guests and 52 of them were walk-ins. That was the lead source, 52 of them. Can you imagine how many more people that they would have seen, how bigger their sales would have been, right? But they didn't have the staff that saw that as key or priority. So what happened and it ended up happening? The franchisee lost out in the long run because they got X amount of dollars brought in the bank last month instead of double that. So what are some solutions to this? Well, you know what? I'm too busy. What do you have? What's the point here? What do you think I should do? Well, the fact is, the lowest of the lowest position of the org chart control your success in your bank account. Spa directors, spa consultants, even yes, spa consultants, a room attendant or a bed cleaner can control your paycheck. How? Providing a poor customer experience will drive people away and spread awful poison about that store to where you're going to hustle, you're going to bustle, and you're going to try to get those people's names, numbers. You're going to try to get people in the door, but for some reason you can't figure out why nothing's working and you're implementing all these processes. It could be because you got a bad stigma about being that location that has that bed cleaner that is so rude or doesn't clean the beds properly and they come out with the tingly legs and the tingly butt because they just like completely, just half did the job. That's controlling all the way up to the top, folks. So keep that in mind. The lowest of the lowest person on that org chart is affecting your current bank account right now, and that goes for all positions in that store. The leads, the system, the processes, and procedures work. It's the people that don't make it work. It's a direct reflection of leadership skills. Now, it's too often, and it's more often than I'd like to admit, and it's happening way too much. And it's time for us to take our positivity, pull that back out, turn it around, and start brainwashing our team. It's time for the team to stop brainwashing us. And that goes for you spa directors and franchisees more so. What's happening is they're coming back going, nobody wants to give names and numbers. Well, why? Because they think that it's harassment. And I got yelled at. Who yells at people like that if they are asking to give them something for free? No, nobody really, unless they're just grumpy at life. That's not really happening. But what's happening is it's trickling up. And then they talk to us, and we're finding out, and we're hearing franchisees going, nobody wants to give information out. They get mad. They start yelling at my staff. Really? Do you really believe that? Do you really believe that? Because here's the best thing I've heard all year long. Kevin Nunes is a regional developer that I just went to in Modesto for a Rockstar tour. The funny thing is, before the Rockstar tour provided all this motivation for his staff and he started making all this money, he was trying to uncover where his performance gaps were. Why aren't people coming in my doors? Why isn't my staff booking red appointments? And for the longest time, we've had a couple conversations where he was saying, look, I don't do promotions. They just don't work. Why? And we were drilling down until finally he went in there and actually made calls himself and booked red appointments himself to realize and got leads himself to be able to turn around, tell his staff at the time, listen, folks, I just did it. So I don't know where you guys are falling short, but now that I did it and saw for myself that I could do it, that we can do this, now I'm going to see exactly what you're doing. And he sat back and he watched them. And he watched them for a couple of days and noticed where they were losing them. Noticed where he was like, oh, well, that's why. You were asking in this way. You were kind of bossy. You looked a little bit PO'd when you said that. Smile a little bit more. You look a little bit happier to see them, right? Because they're not going to give you information when you sound like you're having a miserable day. Those are the things that he did to turn it around. And And that's so, so important. So if you find that this is happening with you, that's a leadership skill. Turn around, become a leader. Fact, you can't fix stupid. I'm not calling anybody stupid, so please don't think or get offended by if you think that I'm calling you stupid. This is just a phrase, and it's an age-old phrase that basically explains if somebody's personality is an introvert, you cannot change that. No matter what, if somebody is shy, if they're afraid to talk, maybe one in a million chance that you're going to find somebody you can physically, technically, actually get to change their personality and become outgoing and outspoken. You can't put an introvert in a position of a spot anything in the spot. They have to be outgoing. They have to be able to comprehend. They have to have critical thinking skills. If they do not naturally have these traits and skills, you are going to burn yourselves out trying to train them. So don't do it. In order to grow, now this is important. Pay attention, write this down, take a screenshot, whatever. This is a very important thing. Something I learned from a very great person, very, very smart person, and one of the most intelligent business consultants I've ever known today, is in order to grow, you must first identify the problem. Once you've identified the problem, you must then come up with a list of solutions with backup plans, and then execute them one by one in the level of importance until something sticks. Now, to reiterate that, if you did not understand it, if you see that right now you are not able to pull off getting your staff to successfully prospect and market, identify where the problem lies. Is it you? Is it them? Is it your material? Is it what you're offering? Is it the spa? Did you diagnose that problem? Did you make sure that the spa looks inviting? Did you make sure that there isn't situations happening where when I walk in, if I hear bounce rap in room 1, country music screaming and howling in room 2, and then I hear some god-awful heavy metal, somebody screaming and mad at their moms about something in room 3 happening all at the same time? Where in that am I going to get a new member? How am I, why would I tell anybody when I leave to go in there and it's so relaxing? No. So that's what we mean. Identify that first. Then when you realize what these problems are, don't just say, okay, well then this is what we'll do and that's it. No, do this and then plan for that to fail. Literally plan for your solution to fail. That way you're forced to come up with a backup plan. Listen, this is what we'll do. First, we're going to try to do this and this and this. We'll take the radios out and blah, 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 blah. Then if that doesn't work, then I'll go ahead and get the different lamps and the different chandeliers or whatever. Maybe we just need to change it up a little bit and rearrange some stuff. And then if that still doesn't work, then I'm going to have to look into this, right? Have a list of items and then go through them one by one with a deadline. I'm going to have this started. This project will be started and finished by the end of next week, with me wanting to start it today. That right there is how you find the solution to your problem. So how can you do that with a staff? How can you do that with a current staff? If you don't have time to go out and hire people, first and foremost, diagnose if they're quote unquote stupid. What I mean by that is diagnose if your current staff, if you can't hire right now because you're too busy, okay, what are some solutions? Look at who you got, who's on the staff that is capable, that has thinking skills, that are great with coming up with solutions, or creative, that are extroverts, that love having conversations, that want to fix themselves, they want to make the money. Go to them first and start molding those people first. Because wasting your time trying to do everybody at one time that you know, one or two here and there, one staff member here, one staff member there, is probably not going to be able to cut it. That's only going to burn you out. And then lastly, not getting on training calls, webinars, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I don't have time to get on this training call. I'm the only person here. It's all the same stuff anyway. Maybe I'll listen to the recording, right? I've said it. I'm guilty. I used to say the same thing when I was in the store. Trust me, I'm not judging you at all until I got here to realize that unless you make it a point to try. Now, big shout out goes to Alanda Vigor on the Planet Beach Facebook group, who actually implemented some stuff we talked about on Monday Motivation and saw success. She took that word of advice that was shared on the call that said, take something that you do every single time for member appreciation marketing and getting it out there, and you're doing for MAP and preparing for MAP. You do the same thing all the time, right? Just try doing one thing different. One thing different, whether it's having to do with confirming. I usually always call and confirm, right, and leave a voicemail. I think this time I'm going to do a text message. I'm going to blast, hey, reminder, just kind of see, because that might be working, because nobody's checking their voicemails. Nobody's really showing up, and nobody's really showing up for those appointments I'm making. But, hey, they saw the text message. Everybody showed up, and I got all these sales, right? So she implemented something that became very successful for her. So kudos to her, and she's a perfect example of what we mean here. Unless you make it a point to try to take an initiative, you'll never eliminate the variables which you control to figure out where you're going wrong. So by hopping on these things, even if it's the same thing, the same webinar that I did 3 months ago, right? Well, there could be some new stuff in there that I stole from other stores that are successful that I implement in that same exact training. So worst case scenario, yeah, I've heard it before, but there could be some different stuff in there with some different ideas and solutions as you see here. So always remember that that's key, and that's very important for you to at least always go back and listen to the recordings. All education platforms offered are based on what you request, folks. So if you guys need or are all provided, if you guys need something or we check the trends of the company and we see that retail is a whopping way low, we're going to have a campaign and a training about that. We're going to do that for you guys because that's where the trends lie, right? That's going to assist and aid you. The number one most important investment you can make into your Planet Beach or yourselves for your future careers is education and training. That's a little nugget for you guys to take with you and really think about. Franchisees, what's the most important piece of equipment you own? Some that are seasoned that have had JP training would say phones. Some might say your hotbox detox. Some might say the dang build out of it or a franchise license. The most important investment that you can make is your staff and educating them and getting them trained and sending them to the conventions and the trainings at even if it's virtually, you guys. If you have a webcam on a computer, set your spa director up with that at least twice a year to be able to get the newest trainings, the newest education, because that's really going to be the most important piece of equipment that you own is going to be that training. And then lastly, for you guys that are spa consultants on this call, on this training, on their spa directors, this is something you need to take and remember with you for the rest of your lives, no matter where you end up or what you end up doing when you're older, or you might be running a business yourself. This is key for you to remember that is the number one most important investment that you can make for yourselves and into yourselves is educating yourselves. So don't look at trainings and calls and webinars as that's a pain in the butt. It's happening at the busiest time of the day. If that's the case, don't worry about getting on it live. Check out the recording later because you might find some tips in there that will not only better you for your own paychecks at that time, but that's a learning. You're learning something you can take with you for the rest of your professional lives. And that's something that I was able to, and I was fortunate enough to have had leaders and franchisees have me see that at a very young age to be able to understand the importance of that. You'll never know that until you actually live through it. So please keep that in mind. And you might be a top store. You may have had $1,000 day yesterday, but that's no guarantee. That's not a guarantee that that's going to happen today, right? Well, we just had $1,000 day yesterday. Leave me alone. I can do whatever I want. I'm going to take an extra 30-minute break. No, but you're not guaranteed to end up closing that register with another $1,000 day. So it's another day of expenses. Guess what? It costs the franchisee, on average, to have you guys working in there daily. $200. That's payroll, that is the light bill, and that's on an average. There's plenty that have more, there's plenty that have way less. But that's how much it's costing them to be open that day. If you only sold or if you only did something that was a one-time thing and you're celebrating one membership sale, one this, one that, or you only sold a couple of items here and dang, it cost me this much today or cost the franchisee this much and I only brought in this much, you should go home with your head hanging. You really should. You should know that. You should actually know that. So with that being said, guarantee tomorrow. Yeah, you know what? I contributed. I exceeded goal by the most today of all 3 people that came in and out. Thank you. I'm going to take my final bow, walk off the stage. But guess what? I'm going to feel good about myself knowing that tomorrow I am set up to do the same exact thing. So that's always very, very important. And the ways to do that is to get every bit of information that you see offered anywhere. You see a webinar, get on it. You see a call happening, get on it. You see some type of a training or school or something coming into your area, get on it. And that right there, that alone is all the top spas mindset. So, a few important reminders before I wrap up this call with you guys. You guys have been awesome. I hope you've learned a lot of things from this. But don't forget, tomorrow is when it ends. Early bird registration. We just talked about getting all the training, and the most important piece and the most expensive equipment that you're going to own here is education of your staff and your team. So this is another reminder for you guys. If you're not sure who's going, right? If you say, well, I know I'm going to have a spa director by then, I'll know I'll have somebody. just get it done while it's cheaper because those prices are going to go up and it's unnecessary to spend the extra money when you don't have to. Save their name as to be determined. You can always send in a request to get the name changed later, but don't miss out because it ends tomorrow at midnight Central Time. That is like right now, it's 12:30 right now here. So keep that in mind. It's going to be midnight tomorrow night. Also, please note we're going to have a warehouse closure temporarily beginning tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. So the warehouse here at PBFC is going to be closed temporarily just due to quarter one inventory. So it will reopen on Monday, April 4th. Any orders placed after 10:30 a.m. Tomorrow will not be shipped out until Monday. So please place any orders you're kind of sitting on right now if you're thinking about putting them in. Get that done now so you can knock it out and you don't wait until 10:35 tomorrow when you have to wait till Monday to have them shipped. So if you need something soon, ASAP, get on it. You guys have been incredible. If you have questions, please email us at spaperformance@planetbeach.com. If you want additional training, maybe there was something on here you wanted to hear a little bit more about, you wanted some more testimonials, or maybe you just wanted a little bit more additional training to it, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here to do. So please be sure to email us, let us know, and whoever your designated consultant is will reach out to you directly or your regional developer and provide all that information for you. So I've kept you long enough. I hope you got a lot out of this. You guys rock. You're amazing. You're all rock stars. Now go out there, make me proud, and train your staffs on this stuff, man. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging in with me, and we will see you same time next week. Bye, guys.